Hi, I'm Todd Howe. Welcome to New Filmmakers in conjunction with Movie Maker magazine. I'm here today with Karl Nickoley. How you doing, Karl? Karl is the director, producer, survivor of the film This Is My Home. Let's watch a little clip from the documentary.
Being a musician is tough. Now, there's a lot of people that think that they look at it and they see the whole grandeur. Oh, I'd love to be up there singing my songs. They don't see what goes behind that.
On the road literally means on the road. People don't get that when you're talking about touring. I've been on the road now for 3 years, means I'm on the road for 3 years looking out the window at the road going by.
From one place to the next, to the next, to the next. That's really actually physically demanding.
You always kind of tick the boxes, look after your voice when you're doing 7 nights a week, and that's only one show a night, not 3 or 4 a day, which is what the boys are doing, you know.
So Karl, do you want to give us a little bit of a synopsis on the chaos of This Is My Home?
Sure. Well, it's really a documentary about these 2 Irish immigrant musicians, the Black Donnellys, who wanted to set this world record for doing 60 shows in all 50 U.S. states in under 40 days. And as you can imagine, the madness of that. Dave Rooney approached me. They're both named Dave and Dave. But Dave Rooney approached me and had this idea to kind of shoot this film. And really from there, as a filmmaker, I was able to kind of instantly see like there's a bigger story than just seeing them bump along the country. Like for an audience member, it's really probably uninteresting to, after 15 minutes, to watch the same show over and over again, like in every state. How do we make that interesting? And we interviewed over 90 people in all 50 states about a vast variety of topics, but mainly the American dream and, is it still alive today? And we got a cool response.
Let's get into the chaos from
Sure.
day one. I probably will assume, having toured around the US myself, that within a couple of days you were just thinking,
hours.
what the hell is going on here?
There was a plan initially, and the rough sketch of the logistics of how this was all going to come together, and it was just kind of like, here we go. They're going to go, and we're gonna shoot it. And there was that 12-hour drive from Lake Havasu all the way up to Mountain View, California, and 40-mile-an-hour winds. The RVs going all over the road, and it's like, what did we get into? What did we sign up for?
How many people did you have on the crew? Did you all last the distance? Did you?
It wasn't like Aerosmith on tour, man. Like this was like, they rented an RV. This RV is not like a luxury item either. It was something that you take up to Yosemite for 2 days and not do 16,000 miles, in a month. But we had the production had a SUV, and that was it. And we had to keep it nimble and small. I think it was about five or six. And then the tour support had their own crew. So it was about 10 or so in total, and then plus the band. Yeah, and then when we got to Colorado, 2 of the drivers peeled off, and the rest stuck with us the rest of the way.
With documentary filmmaking, you have to tackle dailies, data, cameras, malfunctions. I mean, these guys, their RV literally fell apart on them by, towards the end of their journey. And I'm here thinking, man, I wonder what these guys were doing with the amount of data that they have, with their backups. And like, this is pretty unique because you were doing 50 states in 35 days.
I mean, the data management alone was, you have to back up all your footage too. So, you don't really have a generator. I mean, you're running the generator while the RV is going, and that's not necessarily the greatest thing to do, just to get power so we could be dumping. We're shooting in 5 and 6K red footage, and then we're, also like downloading all their cell phone footage that they've been, shooting all these Facebook Live stuff. Yeah. And I shot the Liberty Bell on my cell phone, and just all of those things, mixed media combining, was a real challenge, but hats off to our DP, Michael, and our crew, Maximus and Rusty. Rusty was driving and doing data management and doing, and it's multiple hats, and it was crazy.
I think they all deserve an award. They definitely deserve the Guinness World Record for documentary filmmaking. You do. Talk to me a little bit about recording the shows and mixing all that in, because I thought you did a really masterful job of
Appreciate that.
handling the music.
Yeah, I mean, it was all original music in the movie. The beauty of working with musicians, especially these guys, is they supplied all of it, on a nightly basis. But my biggest thing was I was really worried, and I didn't realize this until like 3 or 4 states in. You're traveling in that grind of just being in the car for that long, and then Dave's got to go sing, and he's not like a quiet singer either. He belts it out, and just to hold those performances, some of them were higher, some and lower than others. Day 8 or something, day 7. And we had just missed a flight in Idaho Falls and had to drive down to Salt Lake City just to make the flight to go to Hawaii for less time there than the actual flight was.
Yeah.
And then, Dave had to perform. Both of them had to, the audience sometimes knew who they were. Sometimes it was walking into a cold space, and that's the beauty of these guys, and that's the their magic, their Irish charm that they have, and they can light up a room.
Were there times you didn't think it was going to happen?
Multiple.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, but I know that there were times where gigs fell through, and they were trying to line up more shows, and
there was one day where we had to do 4 states and 4 shows in one day.
Wow.
And we started in Oklahoma, and we had to go up through Kansas, and Kansas, Missouri. Dave thought one gig was like 4 hours drive time, but it was actually 7.5 hours. Get there at like 9:30, and they had to play, or else the record is in jeopardy at that point.
Yeah.
And so luckily, Guinness had some minimum requirements. There has to be more than 11 people, less than 100, just to fit this certain record that they're trying to fit them into. And there was only like 8 people there when they showed up. And luckily, they were playing outside on a patio, and a bicycle group, 10 of them were riding by, and they were like, oh, so they stopped, and it was
that close.
Yeah, it was and that was every day. Whether it was a hurricane or a volcano going off or the RV falling apart or gigs canceling on them. They played nursing homes, prisons, hospitals. I mean, it was wild.
What did you learn from it in terms of American hospitality and the American dream?
I learned that obviously an airplane is the greatest way to travel, first of all, but I would say, the dream is still alive today. It's woven into the fabric of our country and really who we are as Americans, and anybody that comes to this country has a dream and has that type of vision that regardless of who's in the office, whatever mouthpiece is talking to the world about who we are, that's not necessarily what's ingrained in us, and that's what was so refreshing to see. Whether it was in West Virginia or in Oregon or New Hampshire, Alabama, I mean, we all might have different views, but we all, at the end of the day, still believe in a dream.
Yeah.
That is America.
Is that something you think gets lost in this day and age?
Yeah.
Of what it really means to be American?
Yeah, I hope that, generations that watch this get out there, and look at the country that you live in. Most people will never go to more than 5 to 12 states in their whole life.
Yeah.
And you can fit Ireland in Nevada twice.
Yes.
And so America's huge. And it's so diverse, and I hope that it inspires, it inspired me, to see it, and I hope it inspires others. But don't do it in 35 days.
No, I'm sure you're still recovering.
Yeah,
in ways.
Yeah, I mean, I actually got pneumonia in Jackson, Mississippi, and because you're going into like all these different climates and these completely different, and you're just killing your body.
So what's next for you? I mean, you're a producer. You have your own production company. You've made a lot of
commercial
work and other projects. Are you still wanting to do more documentary film work, and has this ignited a spark inside you for that?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, film has been something that I've only done. This is my only career in my professional working life, and I don't want to limit it to documentaries, but this was an awesome way to tell a story, and I do believe this. We're starting to enter the kind of the renaissance for documentary filmmaking, and platforms have really taken a different approach to how you can tell a documentary.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just the storylines themselves are just vehicles for telling human stories, and I think you've really achieved that with your film.
Appreciate it.
I'm wishing you all the success for the future.
Well, yeah, the film, we do have a distributor now, so it's going to come out St. Patrick's Day.
Of course.
Fitting. We're kind of figuring out like what we want to do as far as event-style screenings where the guys are going to perform and, show the movie and have it be this kind of big party. So yeah, that's the next steps for this film.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, look, I'm wishing you nothing but success and onwards and upwards. Congratulations on everything.
Appreciate it, Todd.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karl.